It is here. The new Navy officer you have been waiting for is finally here. Ha 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 ha! Today we dive into a detailed review, analyze her kit, and see exactly how terrifying this girl's true power is.
Wow, WWW, finally La Sirena revealed herself. Hello everyone, hello to you too. See the community groups buzzing like crazy? Some call her the ultimate Navy savior, others terrified of getting completely skill-gapped.
What's up, commanders? Massive whales, F2P sweats grinding endlessly sticking with VN Warpath. Let me be real. This officer opens a new era, shifting the meta entirely for all upcoming naval battles.
Wonder why you are so confident she changes the meta that much? Just her badass look? Or is her skill set actually busted AF as rumored?
Oh, the difference lies in her brutality. This girl packs burst DMG so busted it's unbelievable. Just imagine, critical skill DMG detonating like a bomb mid-ocean. Not just painful, it hurts so bad you get completely deleted.
What? Critical from a skill? Heavily armored ships better watch their backs. But I have to ask, if she only has damage, will she easily get evaporated when pushed in close?
Here's the real kicker. She doesn't just attack, she pushes dogfighting to the absolute limit with comprehensive attack and defense skills. Get closer, she gets more stubborn, hits hard, tanks perfectly, absolutely terrifying for a Navy officer.
Sounds exactly like the dev's golden child. Comprehensive attack and defense? Burst DMG too? So which ship type is she actually meant for? Don't tell me she is OP on literally any ship.
Great question. Stop hesitating whether she is good or trash. I researched this carefully. She perfectly fits ships demanding massive damage spikes, survive enemy encirclements, hold the line in chaotic brawls. Spot on. Find these exclusive leaks juicy? Did they actually help in unbricking your act? Then smash the hell out of that like button for me. 1, 2, 3. Reputable. Let's get it, bros.
Like, share, subscribe now. Mwah.
Today we are focusing 100% of our energy on the naval.
Holy shit. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The monster from the deep abyss, the one who will redefine the entire playstyle. The new Navy officer, La Sirena.
This is certified news. This is a free officer. A completely free officer, bros.
All my F2P sweats start cheering now, haha. La Sirena is an incredibly versatile officer, usable for every single ship type. She is not picky at all.
But where does the core strength of this monster actually lie?
Let me tell you. The current Warpath meta has flipped completely on its head.
This is no longer the era of trading weak auto-attack damage. It has shifted entirely into a new era of pure violence. Skill DMG.
And this La Sirena carries that exact heavy skill DMG tendency.
Let's dive deep into her intonals now to see exactly how brutal her hard data numbers are.
Let's start off with her first skill. A name that sounds so romantic, but the damage will pierce right through your eardrums. Siren's Requiem.
This is a tactical skill. Its preparation time is 8 seconds.
When activated, it launches torpedoes that tear the enemy apart, dealing skill damage 3 times in a row.
And what is the skill DMG coefficient for a single hit at max level? It is 600, with each hit spaced apart by exactly 0.5 seconds.
Doing some quick grade school math for you guys to visualize when it launches 3 torpedoes consecutively in just 1.5 short seconds, it pumps out a total damage coefficient of 1800.
Isn't that insane? Is that enough shock damage for you? But wait, this monster really does not like the spotlight. She has massive stage fright.
She just prefers hiding in the dark and backstabbing you guys.
Read this line very carefully. When this officer serves as the aide of a troop, the damage coefficient of her skill gets an extra 25% boost.
Wait, so when you slot her into the aide position, this girl amplifies her damage coefficient up to a massive 2,250?
Holy crap! I have to reaffirm this. This is officially the highest skill DMG coefficient in the entire Warpath Navy system right now.
Exactly. Previously, the absolute max was just 1800.
Next up, let's move to her second skill, Phantom Navigation.
This is a balanced type skill, offering comprehensive attack and defense. It boosts auto attack boost by 25% and simultaneously increases auto attack resilience by 25%.
Does that sound weird, bros? It was so obvious from the start. We established that she leans heavily towards skill DMG, so why the hell does she have a skill that buffs both auto attacks and auto attack resistance?
It seems like this unit likes playing both sides. It is half-baked trash that is quite confusing.
I'm actually questioning this part. You guys need to look at the actual meta.
Currently, there are no Navy officers following an auto attack damage playstyle.
The only exception is Rising Flame Skill 3, which boosts auto attacks by 30%. Besides that, the entire Navy meta revolves around and completely relies 100% on skill DMG.
Therefore, this half-baked balanced second skill of La Sirena, from my perspective, is simply Lilith's future prediction move.
It is basically paving the way for an upcoming auto attack meta, because right now, it is not truly that great, and we need to wait for the next few officers. All right, we are skipping that second skill. Let's get to her third skill, Abyssal Echo.
It increases firepower by 30% and boosts the skill critical strike chance by 15%.
This is a skill born strictly for the new meta and ironically, it is extremely beneficial for the older officers too.
That is because the older officers are purely skill DMG focused. So having La Sirena inject an extra 15% is a pretty solid buff. You slurp up whatever value you can get.
But we have to be completely honest here. Evaluating it fairly, 15% at this point in time is not a high enough number to create any shocking comebacks.
But things start getting absolutely brutal again. When we touch her fourth skill, Deepstrike Breach.
This is yet another special type skill, a tool used for absolute domination. It is extremely disgusting.
When this officer's troop attacks an enemy, it strips their armor, reducing the target's DMG resist by a flat 10% for 4 seconds.
And at the same time, like some cruel joke from the Creators, it buffs her own troops' DMG resist by another 10% as well.
Oh snap, haha. Yet another skill heavily leaning into comprehensive attack and defense.
It softens up the enemy while hardening herself. Are you guys starting to smell something cooking?
Have you guys started to visualize who this officer pairs best with and what playstyle she suits right?
Even though she is advertised as a versatile officer, this skill set mixing enemy armor reduction and self-armor buffing combined with massive shock skill DMG means she was born specifically for players who love hiding and officers specialize in close quarters brawling popping up out of nowhere to backstab.
She exploits her overwhelming tank stacks and her ability to reduce the enemy's resistance to brawl in close quarters and murder the target as brutally as possible.
And right, hurry! The ultimate boss of RNGGG, the absolute peak of gambling arts, her awakened skill pressing Carrington.
You guys need to stretch your eardrums to hear exactly how insane this is.
Whenever this officer's troop lands a critical strike using a skill, it immediately increases the critical DMG for her skills by an extra 20% for 3 seconds. And the real horror lies right here. It can stack up to a maximum of 6 times.
Oh boy. Let's do some quick mental math together.
Normally, a default critical hit in this game deals 150% damage.
After the very first crit explosion, it buffs it by 20%, pushing it up to 170%.
And if your RNGesus blesses you, it stacks up to 6 times, meaning you get pumped with a maximum of 120% extra critical DMG on top of it.
Whoa, take the base 150% and add the 120% buff. We reach a number that breaks all laws of physics, 270% critical DMG.
However, I need to slap you guys back to reality. This is purely a gambling game. RNG gambling is extremely risky.
You guys have to pray to RNGesus that within that tiny 3-second window, your lineup just keeps popping crits back-to-back endlessly to maintain those stacks.
The miserable part is currently this game is super deceptive because what free officer actually provides an abundant critical rate buff?
Exactly. There is currently no free officer capable of doing that.
So who was this gambling machine La Sirena born to pair with? Who is strong enough to activate her? There is only one answer, absolutely unique in this entire Warpath realm. She can only pair with Steel Commodore.
Exactly. The new destructive duo of the ocean. But why is that?
Because right on skill 1 of Steel Commodore, she already self-buffs her critical DMG by 30%.
Now you take that 30%, add the 15% from La Sirena, and the total comes out to exactly 45%.
A very vague 45%, meaning the odds aren't even 50-50 yet. It relies heavily on spirituality, very high-risk gambling.
That is exactly why many people sarcastically say, this is a playground strictly designed for whales to burn money.
But hold on, it does not always require you to be a massive whale to play this.
Here is the living proof. Right inside my own clan, there are 2 F2P sweats grinding endlessly, completely free to play, and they are already close to awakening Steel Commodore.
Probably just waiting for the Yoop comment lounge event, spinning the gacha a few more times to secure that flashy awakening.
So F2P players can confidently keep dreaming.
Therefore, we already have a predicted officer pairing that is extremely god tier. Steel Commodore pair with La Sirena.
While analyzing this lineup, if we talk about getting lucky and managing to stack crits 6 times, it amplifies the damage output to an absolute infinity.
You guys just imagine if you get lucky and trigger one more critical hit, pushing the bonus damage up to a massive 190%. That is absolutely disgusting.
Damn! For the Navy right now, taking a shock damage hit like that means you just evaporate.
But the magic does not stop there, bros. The final Exodia piece to complete this gambling lineup leads in an upcoming gear piece, the Devil Ray drone.
He already uploaded an incredibly detailed review clip on this drone, so you guys can dig it up and watch it later.
Its absolute domination lies right here. It provides a direct buff boosting your critical rate by another 12.5%.
And there is another disgusting side effect. It boosts your critical DMG by an extra flat 30%.
So what is the economic and damage calculation here? Very soon, when those massive sweeps go all in on the Navy, biting their tongues to buy this drone and leveling it up early, then boom, a monster shock damage combo is born in.
Breaking every single limit, literally 1 hit, 1 kill.
All right, we've talked until our mouths are dry. Do you guys know which officer and which ship type La Sirena suits best now?
Do you guys have the answer in your heads yet?
Drop a comment down below right now. Let me know what you guys are thinking.
Based on my predictions, naturally in the near future, there will be detailed live combat test clips for each ship type, dragging them out to blast each other to compare their efficiency so everyone can clearly see it.
Remember to hit the bell to catch that upcoming clip, guys. But right here, even without real-world testing, I am completely confident in my assessment based purely on my data reading experience. It is obvious that this skill set will fit perfectly, extremely perfectly with a very specific unit type.
First and foremost, it perfectly fits submarines. Why?
Because submarines are units born to play dirty. They dive deep, pop up to execute quickly, and are always ready to brawl right in the enemy's face.
So slotting La Sirena in there fits together like perfect gears.
Because this officer brings a massive sudden damage spike from her critical skill set, and she also packs defensive tools to strip enemy armor while buffing her own.
Therefore, she pushes the assassin nature, the extreme burst damage of submarines to a whole new unstoppable level.
Besides submarines, she should also magically suit ships capable of close combat and tanking hits. For some reason, I really love her on anti-submarines, a unit that many people are neglecting and calling trash.
But he tested it and found it extremely juicy. Haha, it is just a bit difficult to control.
To sum it up, a massive dump of information has been injected into your brains, bros.
Everyone hold onto this gold mine and wait for the upcoming clips to test it more accurately before making the decision to drain your resources raising this sea monster.
In the next clip, I promise to dissect down to the bone exactly which secondary skills you should learn for the Navy to properly prepare your inventory for the war-bound conquest. Just listen to the VN Warpath channel bros. I can confirm with 100% certainty that the upcoming meta is the era of the Navy.
Anyone stubborn enough to not invest, clinging tightly to their outdated lineups, will just fall behind, become obsolete, and serve as a punching bag for everyone to practice hitting.
Right now, pouring your resources into Epic One Navy is as crucial as the actual life of your ACT bros.
Look forward to our next clip, guys. Tearing apart and analyzing the Gridlock Architect tank officer in detail.
Okay, KKK, this was an incredibly long and calorie-burning chatted. If you guys liked it, then smash that like button for me. Leave a comment so we can interact with everyone.
Goodbye, and see you guys in the Warpath naval
Like the
battles.
video and subscribe for more.
Or I'll drop this treasure.
Press the bell to get notifications. And leave a comment below.